The limits of direct exchange. To understand the importance of money, let's first imagine a society without money. In a world limited to barter, or what economists more precisely call direct exchange, there would still be private property, and people will still benefit from voluntary trade. Because economic value is subjective, the utility of a good is in the eye or mind of the beholder. We can have win-win exchange, in which both parties walk away correctly believing that they got the better end of the deal. However, if society were limited to direct exchange, in which individuals only accept items in trade that they plan on using personally, then people would miss out on many advantageous transactions. Let's consider a simplistic example. Suppose there are three individuals, a farmer, a butcher, and a cobbler. The farmer starts out with some eggs that he's just taken from his hands. He would like to trade his eggs in order to get his tattered shoes repaired. The problem though is that the cobbler doesn't want any eggs, but he would be willing to repair the shoes for bacon. Unfortunately, the farmer doesn't currently have bacon. However, his neighbor, the butcher, does have bacon. Yet the butcher doesn't want to trade with the cobbler because the butcher's shoes are just fine. What the butcher would really like are some eggs. Yet the farmer himself doesn't like the taste of bacon and would rather eat his own eggs. In a world limited to direct exchange, these men are at an impasse, because no single transaction would benefit any pair of them. Yet all of them could improve their situation with a rearrangement of the goods. The solution is to introduce indirect exchange, in which at least one person accepts an item in trade that he doesn't plan on using himself, but holds merely to trade away again in the future. In our example, suppose that the farmer has an epiphany. Even though he personally dislikes its taste, he trades his eggs to the butcher to obtain the bacon. Then he takes the bacon to the cobbler, who accepts it as payment for fixing his tattered shoe. After these two trades, all three individuals are better off than they were originally. Remember though, that the solution relies on the farmer accepting an item in trade, in this case the bacon, that he didn't plan on using himself. Economists call such a good a medium of exchange. Just as air is a medium through which sound waves travel, the bacon served as a medium through which the farmer's ultimate exchange was affected, namely giving up his eggs in order to receive shoe repair services.